What a season it's been. 15 races complete and a champion already decided in Aiden Norman. Seth Wansing and Toby Estes will start on the front row for 165 laps of action. The green flag is out at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. Estes on the high side with Noah Belleville to his inside. Drivers must be careful in these opening laps as the cars come up to temperature. Norman in the 6-2, the Season 6 champion and the first ever back-to-back Thursday Night Thunder champion going into that third and fourth corner. Those cars look gorgeous out here. This is going to be an awesome race. 2x2 still. It's a pace lap at 180 plus. Seth Wansing crosses the line at 176. You can see the wicker on these cars. You can see that is a Generation 4 Super Speedway package. Jimmy Kerr III, purple, 31-35. John Honeybrink in the 2-0 Home Depot Chevrolet. He's on the inside. Thomas Andrews, the Season 4 champion, is on the outside in that TNT MGD ride. Seth Wansing now leads lap number 3, my mistake. Catania goes purple. Catania the younger, Catania the older on his outside. Ricardo overtaking his younger brother Tristan, and then the pitcher for the Fubon Guardians in the number 3-1 Oreo Monte Carlo, Matt Kent. There is the Season 4 champion to the outside of Rockwall's Donald Ray. The National Guard, number 5, sporting red numbers on the side of that Chevrolet for the first time this season rather than the standard white. And how about the man from Good Hope, Georgia? Ryan Pennell comes to his home race looking for another Thursday Night Thunder win. This man here from the tiny, tiny, tiny town of Good Hope. Closer to Monroe, if you know where that is. About an hour and a half outside the big city of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Big city of Atlanta. Atlanta Motor Speedway sitting in, what is it, Hampton County? Henry County, that's it. Henry County, Georgia. Those race facts brought to you by Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your number one stop for your favorite NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook. Let's go on board with Toby Estes. Seth Wansing leading the parade, still 2 by 2, 10 laps in. They have not moved an inch before the race. Kind of a driver's meeting reminding drivers not to pass under the red line. Super Speedway rules do apply. Drivers reminded no passing under the red line and being told to just learn the car. Go easy as Seth Wansing puts 2 tires on the red line. Sparks from the Bluegrass Bandits, the 2.9 and the 8 Briley Wright. How about Jimmy Kerr into the wall? Tristan Catania, cousin Cody Pennell's been involved. Tommy Withers making it through, and Tristan Catania in the 48. Looks like he's going to be one of the first cars damaged in this race. How about James Kerr III in the Holler Boys Chevy? One of a few North Carolinians in this race. Another one of the hometown flavors, cousin Cody Pennell in that 2.8, also from the town of Good Hope. Rumors say the man lives on a football field, but I've heard crazier things, I suppose. He's also got caught up in that accident. All right, let's roll it back, and let's see what happened here with Tristan Catania. Jimmy Kerr's going to hit the wall. We saw it actually in real time. Jimmy Kerr hit the wall, came off, and smacked right into Tristan. 48 in the middle. Look at Thomas Andrews, the Season 4 champion, just barely avoid that one. John Honeybrink also missed a piece of that one. Caught a piece. He didn't miss it. Briley Wright. Cody Pennell. He caught a heavy piece. Let's run it back on board with Tristan Catania. Cody Pennell. John Honeybrink. No, this is the lap prior. I've got no idea what I'm talking about. And Cody Pennell is going to rejoin the rest of his friends once again. Seth Wansing continues to lead the field. The pride of Kansas City, running what he calls his smoke paint scheme. He debuted it last week at Watkins Glen. Seth currently leading the way. Let's see if we can bother him real quick and get a quick word. Possibly. Seth Wansing, Rick James up top. You got me?
Hey, Rick, I got you, buddy.
Going green this time by Seth. New Atlanta with the ARCA cars. What do you think?
It's fun so far. Got a fast number 9 Midwest Barbecue 2.3 similar Chevy, and gonna try to keep it up here. I think tires are gonna come into play more than thanks, but gonna try to save a set for now.
Well, you've been leading most of the laps so far. How does the bump drafting work out there? We saw in practice a lot of guys struggling and losing control of the race cars.
It works all right so far. It's just all about patience and timing. Everybody's taking care of each other, and I think we're gonna be all right here. And really, that bubble of air is kind of helps push as well. So the bump draft isn't actually needed sometimes.
All right, buddy. I guess tighten the belts up. What you can tighten up. Hopefully we talk to you at the end, man. Have fun.
Thank you, Rick. You have fun as well. Everybody at home, have fun. Grab yourself a cold feller and a bite to eat and enjoy the show.
All right. right, let's see what Seth has. First restart after the first caution involving John Honeybrink, Tristan Catania, Jimmy Kerr, cousin Cody Pennell. Seth Watson going to lead the field off of turn number 4, getting ready to restart, completing lap 14 of 167. Green flag is out. Let's do it. Toby Estes leads Ryan Pennell to his inside in the number 1-2 Budweiser Ford. Richie Catania in the 2-4, sitting in the middle, now chasing all of them down. Richie, top side. He's got the 4-5 of Patrick Allen right behind him. Toby Estes in the 8 car, trying to move the train on the outside line. Ryan Pennell, one of the hometown drivers, on the inside. Allen's in the wall. John Honeybrink behind him. The 45 didn't last long. Honeybrink just barely survives being collected in the 45's mistake. Pennell's in the wall again. Briley right beneath him. There goes John Honeybrink. Josh Garrison, I apologize, Honeybrink's in the 20. Seth Watson looks like he is out of this race. Just as he started this race, the number 9 Chevrolet is down and out, possibly some internet connection issues. And now Toby Estes, one of the Bluegrass Bandits, leads the field in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Richie Catania to the outside, and one of those 2 hometown drivers, Ryan Pennell, in the Budweiser Ford right behind him. Two-time champion Tom Sears in the number 1-4. 213simware.com Toyota Supra now sits behind Ryan Pennell. 3, now 5 Thursday Night Thunder championships lined up nose to tail. Tom Sears, season 1 and 3 champion. Thomas Andrews, your season 4 champion. And now most recently crowned in the Big Ass 62, Aiden Norman, your season 5 and season 6 Thursday Night Thunder champions. First back-to-back champion in TNT history. Honeybrink to his outside. Matt Kent, the pitcher, in the Oreo Chevrolet, now coming up behind him. And how about the Bahamian? Elrich George in the M&M's Ford, all the way from Nassau. He's rocking the top 10 as well. Jeff No in the double 5 sits on the outside looking in. Let's ride on board with him. No is on the inside with the 40 of Elrich George just ahead. Matt Kent in the 31, now advancing. Seth Watson back in the game. 6 laps off the pace. That internet fixed, and he is back up. Well, he's back in the competition now. He is 6 laps off the pace. However, crazier things have happened. It is our first race at the New Atlanta. We'll see. He might just make it. Baker Elite Gaming asking, Rick, what's your Facebook? Talking about Rick James TV. That's Jake Baker from Monday nights here on Rick James TV. Budweiser and Budweiser leading the way. Toby Estes on the outside of Georgian Ryan Pennell. How about Donald Ray, the pride of Rockwall, Texas, in the number 5 National Guard Chevy. Tom Sears filling in the gap behind him. Cousin Cody being mighty cautious in the 2-8 Pennell Racing Machines Ford. Seth Wanton goes to his inside, and it looks like Cody is just going to adopt a strategy of hanging at the back. Jake Baker asking, where do I prefer fans watch the race? Wherever you like. You can watch wherever you want. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're available. How about the folks over at iRock TV Media as well, if you're watching on that high-definition platform? Shout out to them. Cody Pennell saying, go Cody, I have the same strategy. Jake Baker, part of that ENEA series where they ran the next gen cup cars here at Atlanta with these 4th gen, or well, they're the ARCA cars, the 4th gen with more horsepower, but with these ARCA cars at this new Atlanta configuration, it's an entirely different game. It's thrilling, honestly. I don't envy these guys. Sim racing, if you watch the concentration you're going to need as Thomas Andrews hangs the tail out on the front stretch. These guys are picking up speed. They're getting more confident in their race cars. This is around the time that they had that first caution. Ryan Pennell dips 2 tires below that red line. Donald Ray starts to follow him. Thomas Andrews in that 5th position thus far, but just like any other super speedway such as Daytona or Talladega, the positions will change 5 to 6 times a lap. Toby Estes looks like he's just struggling to keep that 8 car from wiggling. He's got to let off the throttle. Let's go on board with Toby. Have a listen. Steady hands for one of those bluegrass bandits, Briley Wright and Cody Riggs, the other bandits that make regular appearances. Cody not in tonight's race. Briley Wright just hanging at the back, just like Jake Baker would do, just like Cody Pennell would do. Estes on the outside of Ryan Pennell. How about Pennell still holding tight on the inside? Donald Ray behind him. Estes up into the safer barrier out of turn number 4. Not the first time he's made contact. Everybody diverting down low, and it's a scramble to avoid the Budweiser Chevy off the 3rd corner. He's trying to hold it together off of 1. 2-4 of Richie Catania behind him. Defending champion 2 times over now. Aiden Norman will go into season 7 with 2 titles on his belt. Maybe even thinking about a hat trick, but he's got to think about surviving the rest of this race. And I just realized I haven't had the scoring on for like 4 laps. Why didn't anybody tell me this? Ryan Pennell still leads. That timing and scoring is the least chaotic thing happening right now. These guys are all over the place, and I'm loving it. Single file for Donald Ray and Tom Sears, and those are the only 2 single file cars out here. This is pretty wild. Let's see what the world looks like from the back of Ryan Pennell's car. Pennell Estes, 1-2 for now, the Budweiser Chevy. Really riding the rail on the outside. Drivers getting on the flat part of the racetrack. You can see how the weight, the angle of the race car shifts when they get below that red line. And it's just almost scary what it does. And look at this, Jeff No now trying to avoid John Honeybring. 3 wide out of the second corner. Cousin Cody Pennell to the inside. Now in the thick of it. Single file for now. Noah Belleville, the part-time driver, with a win to his name this season. Trying to come up off that red line. Pennell to the inside. Estes still maintaining the outside. 35 laps. Now underway at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ray behind the 1-2, and it's just a mess behind them. Honeybrink in the 2-0. Jake Baker asking, when is the pit window? 50 to 60 laps on fuel. No idea how long the tires are going to go. Drivers last pitting on lap 12, so the quick math will tell you they'll make it to about lap 72 and then possibly come in maybe sooner. This is an unknown. These ARCA cars are on this racetrack for the first time in Thursday Night Thunder history. Ray now leading. The man from the Lone Star State ahead of Tom Sears on the low line. Pennell just ahead of Estes on the high line. Richie Catania following. Sitting all the way at the back of this pack, you've got John Honeybrink followed by Briley Wright in the 2-9. Sitting 16th. There's Tristan Catania, 17th. Right now the last car on the lead lap, but there are the leaders. Here comes the cavalry, so to speak. Norman in the 6-2 has a gap to the outside. Noah Belleville following him. Elridge George in the 4-0. Where's that M&M's for? There he is. So far, so good since we restarted this race on lap 14. Ray still leading at the front. Sears sees daylight to the inside. Drivers really love clipping that red line, but will they be so brave when the tires go? Noah Belleville now shoots to the inside. Matt Kent tries to avoid topside. He's got to let off the throttle. Cody Pennell is right there. They do make contact. 3 wide off of 2, and now they're trying to save it, barreling down into that third corner. Matt Kent still in the middle. Noah Belleville says, I'll back out of this wisely, but there goes the Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews. He goes for a spill. Richie Catania, Elrich George, Jeff No now caught in all of this. Caution comes out 41 laps into this race. There's Thomas Andrews going for a spill. Oh, it looked like there was contact between Thomas Andrews and Matthew Kent. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Try the back end of Thomas Andrews. I mean, for what it's worth, Andrews comes out of it not as harmed as some other drivers, but Jeff No caught a piece of that one. Oof, he caught a big piece of that one. Did Cody Pennell make it through? Oh, he almost got collected. Check that out. Oh, man. That was close. Elrich George almost made it. How about Tommy Withers? Not so lucky for the Central Floridian. Richie Catania caught a piece of that one. So Jeff No sitting in the 8th position right now. Donald Ray currently leading. Tom Sears going to his outside. Lights are off atop the pace car. Let's get a quick word with the Texan so far. Donald Ray, Rick James in the house. You got me?
I got you, Rick. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, buddy? Family okay?
Man, they're doing great.
Good, man. Good. All right. So what do you think of the new place?
Man, the setup's a little tight, but we figured out how to just be patient, and I think my tire wear was better than everybody else's, it seemed, based off of everybody else's feedback. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and be patient, go slow to go fast at the end.
Bump drafting, does it work here or no?
Man, I haven't tried it yet. I think it will. I don't think there's a need to, though. Maybe at the end of the race, if you're trying to push a buddy to the win, or you got a buddy behind you, maybe you do want him to push you, but right now it's too early to even try that, but we'll see. Oh, it is. Thanks, Rick. Have a good one.
Whole time. Going green here. I just been muted this whole time, man. All right. You know what? New track. We can make a couple mistakes. No problem, right? Donald Ray will lead us going back to green here. Seth Wansing joins the house as well. Seth, welcome to the booth, buddy. Not so lucky for you, but now you get the best seat in the house. Here we go, green again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. I figured it might not be, oh wow, we're pretty wide already. Huge move by the 62 going into 1 and 2. Top line might get a big run right here, and D-Ray looks like he's going to get back in the line.
Jacket now behind Aiden Norman in that 62. Sears leading the line top side with Ryan Pennell behind him. JK3, Jimmy Kerr the third for those that know. Now experimenting with the inside line. And Jeff No now behind that 7-5. Seth, this is definitely the makings of a plate race, but the dimensions of this track, I think because they're smaller, everybody feels just a little more squeezed in.
You definitely do, and like D-Ray was saying there when you were chatting with him, the setup is a little tight, and it still has that mile-and-a-half feel, and because it is tighter, Rick, you're having to crank on the wheel just a little bit more than you would at an old super speedway to get that mile-and-a-half layout. It does wear tires a little bit, that kind of tight condition. So it creates a lot of challenges, but it's really fun. I hate that my computer had some technical difficulties. It wasn't internet or anything else. It just decided to crash or auto update or something. But we'll get that figured out. But hate that it lagged out. I had a really fast number 9 T13 somewhere. Chevy was trying to fight for third in points, but excited to be up here with you, buddy, and watch these guys duke it out.
Aiden Norman now just riding the top side, trying to stay off Donald Ray. If you just tuned in, you've missed a couple of yellows. Big action, as you might expect, from these ARCA cars at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But we're 47 laps in, 120 to go next time by. Donald Ray has control of the field. Cousin Cody Pennell will dive down to the inside. It goes Chevy Ford. Chevy, your top three, with the new Thursday Night Thunder champion on the outside. Ryan Pennell now sits behind him. Toby Estes riding behind the Budweiser Ford. And Josh Garrison in the 1-8 Interstate Chevy, rounding out the top 11 cars. Seth, Jeff No just got caught up in that accident. Tommy Withers did as well, and Richie Catania. With these guys, I think they're exploring a strategy of hanging out at the back and kind of just waiting for the action to subside.
Yeah, and you know, that's always been the debate on super speedways, Rick. You know, do you want to run at the front and lead laps and be aggressive, or do you want to kind of ride at the back and wait it out? And I would say both are successful. I mean, I watched Jeff Gordon do it many times as a kid in the mid-2000s. He was really successful at riding mid-pack to the back all day and then being right there towards the end because he didn't tear his equipment up. And then you have guys like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Brad Keselowski who are always attacking these super speedways and have the mentality of at least trying to lead every lap. And that worked out for them too. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about these, but like you've talked about and like we've talked about, Rick, this mile-and-a-half layout just adds a whole new dimension. And when the tires start to wear out, it'll be even more fun to watch them, see how they kind of navigate how it goes, because you get a little bit more spread out and cause some crossovers and some guys turning down the hill and getting big runs.
Donald Ray leading by his lonesome. Jimmy Kerr, the third on the outside, leading the top lane. Two-time champion Tom Sears in the 1-4 machine has Matt Kent behind him. Kent's front bumper was the reason that we had that second yellow flag. Donald Ray leading Pennell, Chevy, Ford, Toyota, your top three on the inside line. Tristan Catania hanging out at the back of the field. Well, I would say the back of that top line, while Tommy Withers and Richie Catania just mind their own business. Seth, we're going to go on board with Richie Catania, and while we're on, just give us a lap around here in Atlanta, and just, it looks so much easier than it really is.
Yeah, we're going down the back straightaway here, and it looks like Richie's going to ride the top, and Richie's a really, really smooth race car driver. And he's looking like he's riding that middle seam, and if you're going to run that lane, that's actually what I prefer too, Rick, is riding that middle seam. Kind of open your hands up like he did right there, let it drift up to the wall a little bit. Then back into turn one again, looks like he's going to go bottom here, and there you go, there's that tight condition right there. He's going to try to put it right on that Harvick line, Rick. I like the way he's running. If you're by yourself, you want to let those hands open up to save the tire as much as you can. Same thing down here in the 3. Looks like he's going to ride that seam and try to get it to the bottom. You can hear the throttle trace, and that's what you want, a good, smooth entry off the bottom. And then, again, there's two different ways you can run the triangle too, Rick, in the front stretch. You can kind of do what Richie did and try to paint the line, or you can open your hands up and let it kind of touch each little curve of each line and try to tug it back down once you pass the start-finish line. So lots of ways to attack this racetrack.
Catania 14th in line right now. Donald Ray still leading the inside. Cody Pennell getting behind him. Seth, we saw a trend where the drivers will sort of just get the cars up to, well, I say up to speed, but I mean really they get the cars up to speed for about 20 laps. But after a while, everybody starts to get comfortable with the race car, and then they get a little bit closer, and the inevitable happens. The first caution coming out on lap 14. That second caution coming out, I think, just before lap 40 this time. So now the second restart here. Are we going to see another mix-up here in 40 laps, or do you think that these guys are learning more as the race goes on?
You know, with being a TNT guy and knowing how this goes, Rick, and you and the fans at home know how it goes as well. Usually, we don't have any cautions at all, and if we do, it's in the first couple laps like tonight has been, and then we figure it out and we go green, you know. But with a super speedway and they really haven't had a long run yet. Um, I kind of think we're gonna have another mix-up, especially with older tires. I think some guys up at the bottom, as you can see, they're kind of having to do what I like to call it, Rick, the Martinsville Diamond already. They're kind of having to lift in the middle of the corner or let the car drift up a little bit in the middle of the corner and then diamond that thing off because it's just so tight. Um, so it'll be interesting to see, and there's such a fine line at these plate tracks. You're so on the edge. You're white knuckling the wheel later in a run, and it's just again beating a dead horse. But it's a challenge that this new layout presents that is going to be so interesting to watch. So I think there's going to be another mix-up, but these are the best guys out on racetrack that you can possibly have, Rick. You know that, so wouldn't be surprised to see it go green either.
So far, 17 laps since the last restart. Donald Ray, Cody Pennell, Jimmy Kerr have been in the top 3 for this entire run so far. Ryan Pennell, Toby Estes, and the Budweiser team. They've been up there to fight as well. Aiden Norman has been running a pretty smart race. Tristan Catania looks like he's starting to get comfortable with that race car now. Puts 2 tires beneath that red line. Jeff No starts to creep up to the wake of car 48. Puts the nose to the open air to the left-hand side of Tristan Catania. He looks to make that move for the top 10. Down that front straight, you can see just how flat. You can see the rebound from the race cars. They spring up off that asphalt surface. Donald Ray still leads. Coming into this race, Seth, Donald Ray he's still got room to get up in the points. Ray finds himself 15th right now, just, I think, 24 points behind John Honeybrink. Still plenty to do, but a lot to fight for still. This is the season finale. I mean, I'm sure guys want to put in one more good show.
Yeah, and Rick, and the fans at home, Donald Ray's one of the best guys we got. He's missed a few races and taken time with the family and had some other things going on, as you know. At the end of the day, this is a simulation, and we do it for fun, and we get competitive, but we have lives and stuff we got to get done. So I'm sure in season 7, I think it's coming up, D-Ray will be right up there in the fight for the championship. But he is one of the smoothest guys we got. It's fitting he's running that 5 car because he's like Terry Labonte, man. He is the ice man of our group. He rarely makes a mistake. He is so smooth. Really admire what Donald Ray does on the racetrack, and especially at these plate tracks. He kind of gives you that Dale Jr. sense of a plate track, Rick. Even though, you got JK3 up there on the top, breathing down his neck, and you got Cody pushing him, you just feel like that 5 car is just got so much over this lead pack that it's not going to go away unless he makes a mistake. And like I said, those are few and hard to come by with Donald Ray. So really fun to watch him work on the racetrack.
Cody Pennell's one of the drivers outside the top 15 in points that you would not count out of winning a race. Forget top 15, outside of the top 20 in points. One of the part-timers that when you see him on the roster, Richie Catania, is coming off the wall in turn 4 there. And he's got a big scrape to the right-hand side of the DuPont Chevrolet. Cody's one of those drivers, Seth, you see him, you sign into the session, you see him in the registered drivers, and you think, well, that's pretty much game over, because he is that walk-off home run hitter. He shows up, and you know it's going to be a really hard day at the office.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Cody is one of the best drivers we got in ARTS. He's on my team, thankfully, for our Sunday series. And again, just like Donald and all these guys out there, I have a lot of respect and admiration for how Cody drives a race car on this sim. And, he's very technical, but he's very, very fast. He takes care of his stuff. And he's got that. You're right. I know he's coming back full-time on Sundays, but a lot of stuff he does part-time. He's got that Kyle Busch effect to where if he shows up and you see him log into that lobby, you know it's going to be a long day, and you better pack that lunch pail and close it tight because you got your work cut out for you. And no different right here for D-Ray because Cody hopped up to that top line, got a push from JK3, and going to take the lead. Going to be interesting to see what they use here with the lap car. They might get a break here on the front stretch, but Cody's working hard on that top lane. And man, oh, wow. Oh, there they go.
There goes Pennell. There goes Estes. We're still green, though. Ryan goes around. Toby comes back up onto the racetrack. We stay green despite the damage, and now the golden rod flag waves. We're going to put the green one away, and we're going to let the yellow hang out there for just a moment. But hard contact for a lot of these drivers. This is going to be, surprisingly, with 100 laps to go here, only the third caution of the night. Let's go back and see what happened to Toby. And they're already crashing already. It just looked like one car got loose off of that fourth corner. So this is going to be the first opportunity for drivers to pit since lap 41. Let's go back again and see if we can find out what happened to Toby. He's on the inside, and it looks like Josh Garrison might have gotten a bit too eager with the back end of Ryan Pennell. Let's have a look. On board now with the 18. Ryan Pennell just barely made it through that despite the contact.
If I may, Rick, man, just it looked like that's why I was kind of cringing as a mid-sentence there. It looks like JK3 gets just a gets that tight feel that everybody's been talking about, and the drivers that you talked about have been saying in the middle of the corner, and that we were expecting. And Ryan checked up, and it's so hard to react, and Josh didn't mean to, and just clipped him. And Ryan does a hell of a job hanging on to this race car, and Toby just had nowhere to go. But it's that tight effect that we were talking about, Rick, really that caused that stack up, and that's what we were expecting. And just seemed to really just, again, that's that layout that we were talking about, the challenges it provides. You know, being at a 1.5-mile type of tight layout and not a lot of places to go at a Talladega, if someone gets tied up on the middle like that, you can probably have room to go to the middle and drive by him, or have a little bit more time to react. But when it's close quarters like this at Atlanta, you just don't have the same amount of time to react. But considering what it could have been, nice save all around. Although bad luck on the damage side for Ryan.
On board with Noah Belleville, he just makes it through. Both Budweiser cars clashing. Slick moves right there from car 41, and that right there is going to earn Noah Belleville his very own cold trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Donald Ray still with control of the field as drivers are going to split into two lines. Fans at home are taking a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back for more action from Atlanta. Don't go anywhere. Donald Ray sits to the inside of Southampton, Massachusetts. Tom Sears getting ready to restart this race. Ray and Sears have the line. Green flag is out.
Big jump for D-Ray here, and really Aiden doesn't work out well for Donald because of the jump Aiden got. The outside line did not form. He's going to try to break a little bit of draft here, and again, he's so good at manipulating and doing restarts and the race itself, so it should work out here for Donald. And then it looks like that inside line's a little bit better here, Rick, because they're a little bit more lined up.
Ray on the inside, Norman behind him, Noah Belleville top side in that GoDaddy Chevrolet. The 1-8 of Josh Garrison fills in the gap behind him with Jeff No, now third in line on the outside, and a damaged Toby Estes just trying to catch up. Matt Kent sitting ninth out of the top 10, and Ryan Pinnell behind that 31. Still 2x2 as Noah Belleville tries the outside line on Donald Ray, Seth.
Yeah, and Moldy's another. Noah's a very, very talented young man as well. And he's got that top side working. And if, like I was saying earlier, if you want to ride that top, and I can see he's trying, but he wants to pull these guys along. You want to have either your left or right side on one of those seams is at least my preference. And it looks like he's trying to keep that right side on the seam. There you go. He's hooking it. Watch this run he gets off as he turns down the hill. He's going to get in line right here. Oh, he still gets a run. See, that's what you want. There's a little bit of grip right there. I found that in practice. And if you can ride that seam and have guys follow you and kind of turn down the hill on exit, it provides a fantastic run. Same here on this left side that serves the same purpose. Going to get a good run here off the corner. It's like kind of like that grip strip at North Wilkesboro. I don't know if that's what iRacing intended it to be, but it provides fantastic grip. So, but still, Donald is so strong on the bottom.
Ray leading by himself, but Noah Belleville holding tough on the outside with Aiden Norman sitting behind him. Cody Pinnell in that 2-8, still very much a part of this race. I mean, Seth, I think at this point, anybody still a part of this race knows in the wall. 3, 4, 5 cars involved. Just as I was saying, these guys are still part of this race, Cody Pinnell included. Briley Wright with a heavy slam after all of this. Jimmy Kerr trying to avoid everybody. Look at this mess. Seth, I was just going to say everybody's still well a part of this race, but maybe not anymore.
Yeah, that might take away some fast and period. Be interested to see what happens.
Toby Estes going 3 wide, gets into the back corner of Jeff No. Cody Pinnell's involved. John Honeybrink almost vaulted into the air. Still running backwards. Briley Wright almost made it through, but Honeybrink continuing to reverse. Forces Wright to the inside. Jeff No has to snake through all of that. Let's go on board with each and every one of these drivers. This is Toby Estes' point of view. No idea. Estes got just nailed on his roof. Let's ride on board with Cody Pinnell. In an instant. There's nothing you can do. Jeff No. And I'm actually interested to see this from Jeff No's quarter panel here. That's just frustration. Yeah, Jeff No right there. Just exercising his frustration on Toby Estes. Let's see if we can get another look from Jeff No's point of view. And by that point, Briley's already, Toby's already gotten up under him. Try again here. Seth, it just looks like Toby just really eager to go up the middle 3 wide, and it really just cost him a lot, and Jeff No understandably telling Toby what he thought of that.
Yeah, and it looks like he was just eager, Rick, and I don't think Jeff was ready for it. But I think Jeff kind of holds his line, and Toby kind of comes up the racetrack just a tad. And I wouldn't be happy either. Toby's a great race car driver and trying to make a move. I can't blame him either. You know, the track is capable of that, but again, product of plate racing, and I would assume Rick, a few fast repairs, he can still come out.
Jimmy Kerr with some slick moves to avoid that there. And caution comes out. Josh Garrison leading the way with the lights off atop the pace car. Seth, we have a new leader in the 1-8 car. First time we've seen Garrison at the front. We know he's a great drafter at these plate tracks, if you will.
Yeah, and Josh is super aggressive as well, and in that beautiful JJ Yaley paint scheme, may I add. Or that might be Jason Leffler. But yeah, be interested to see how he tries to maybe take control of this race out front. And same with Richie Catania. He's a very smooth, very good plate racer. And then you got two of our fantastic TNT drivers, as is the other two, but and Noah Belleville and Tom Sanders.
Garrison, Sears on the front. Richie Catania sitting second in line. The 2-4 will push the 1-8. Green flag is out. 79 laps now underway.
Mark that down in your notebook, Rick. I think the bottom has won just about every restart. I know leader controls, but still, probably put that in the bookmark for later.
Josh Garrison leading Tristan Catania, trying to go behind him. Well, Tristan's in the 48. This is his older brother, Richie, in the 2-4, all over that 1-8 now. Seth, out of turn number 4, where's the run going to come from car 2-4?
That run from 2-4 all depends on those two cars behind them, and watch out for that top lane. The 41 and the 5 could maybe do this by themselves here if they run the correct line, and they're going to have some help coming too. They're going to get a big run right here, kind of running that middle groove. Don't be surprised if they're alongside Garrison, but it's all dependent on what they do right there in that second or third car line behind them, Rick.
They might go 3 wide down the back straight. Donald Ray using the draft to make it work up the middle as he's side drafting the 1-8 of Garrison. He will clear the 1-8 of Josh Garrison. 80 laps complete. New leader, Donald Ray.
I wouldn't be shocked to see if that might not be 4 fresh tires on that race car compared to Garrison. That looks like a move maybe, but what a move, Rick. Insane move by Donald. People, that is a lot harder than it looks going 3 wide at this racetrack. Pulling the move he did with not a lot of help either.
On board with car number 5. Check this out. Let's go further back here. This is from turn number 1. Watch Ray use the draft to his advantage. Donald Ray now sitting in third. Toby Estes goes back to the front after getting caught up in that accident. Tristan Catania now moves into the second position. They also pitted on lap 76. Seth, your tire theory is pretty much true. Just look at the top 3. These 3 drivers last pitted on lap 76, and their pit stop time would indicate that they took 4 fresh tires. Toby Estes may not have, as his pit stop was half as long as the other two, so it may just be fuel. Aiden Norman's in the wall. Noah Belleville has to slow up and check up big time. Seth, heads up play by the 41 to stamp on the brakes and just let the race ride on.
Yeah, I think these guys are realizing that they need to settle down a bit, and they're also realizing that we're in a really interesting strategy point in this race, Rick. I do think that this tires are going to mean something here, as we were talking about earlier. Everything that the drivers predicted and you predicted, Rick, have came true with the tires. These guys are able to stay in the gas just a little bit more, and again, not trying to beat the dead horn, but with this layout, it provides a huge advantage, as you can see with the top three.
1.3 seconds, the gap now. Tom Sears in the 14 sits just ahead of Matt Kent. Remember, the front bumper of car 31 turned around the Season 4 champion. Tristan Catania with some big internet issues. He's going to dip back to the lead there. Toby Estes behind him. Donald Ray sitting in third. These are fresh tires in action. Matt Kent, Ryan Pennell, Jimmy Kerr III, they all pitted on lap 76. But I think we're seeing those who did get tires and those who didn't. Tristan really out of control, Seth.
Yeah, heck of a save. Just again, you heard in some of the interviews, guys haven't really been testing bumper-to-bumper drafting a whole lot, and that's some of the challenges it can present. So maybe hit him just a tad bit wrong. But I got my eyes on this 5-car, Rick. I really think if he gets just a little bit closer, he could try this high line by himself and make a pass, but Toby's going to be aggressive here as well. He's trying to turn down the hill a little bit and get a big run, so Tri-Span's throwing some really big blocks right now. I don't know if I would be doing that with this big of a lead, but hey, more power to him.
Catania, Estes, Ray, top 3, 88 laps now underway, and the top 14 drivers within 3.5 seconds of each other. Tom Sears down to the apron, back up to the racing surface. Richie Catania has to check up. Everybody has to check up. Glove save by Tom Sears. That was scary. Check this out. Sears still ahead here. Let's see if we can just get a better look at what happened.
That should have been a wreck, Rick. That should have been a wreck.
Matt Kent again, Seth. Matt Kent again. Let's see if we can get just a better look, but that looked none too friendly. The caution is out for the 4th time. This time it is Tom Sears. Jeff No, Noah Belleville, Josh Garrison involved. Caution number 5 in just past the halfway mark here. And apologize for missing that one, but Jeff No in his second crash today. Tom Sears escaped the first one at the hands of Matt Kent. Let's see what happened this time.
Looks like he just rides the apron and gets loose to me, Rick.
Nowhere for Ryan Pennell to go. Noah Belleville on his side. Jeff No could not escape. John Honeybrink just barely gets out of that one. Here's Garrison with nowhere to go for him. Richie got a piece of it. Aiden Norman just slides through that one. Check this out. Let's go on board with the 6-2. Oh, man. That was cool. One more look. Slick moves there for the newly crowned and still reigning Thursday Night Thunder champion Aiden Norman. While he takes a well-deserved breather, we're going to give him his Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream.
So the 48, Tristan Catania, continues to lead. The lights are still on atop the pace car. Fans at home, we are going to take a 60-second break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute with the second half of the TNT season finale from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. .75 laps to go this time by. Tristan Catania has control of the field. He used to have the most fresh tires. Now he does not. Everybody else comes down pit road on lap 90, but Tristan, we'll see how this works out for him. Green flag is out. 5th restart of the race. Let's go racing.
As you mentioned, Rick, him not having any tires, I don't know if Tristan's going to have very many friends, but the raciness and aggression up front here as Tom Sears takes a look to the outside could save him, Rick.
Sears, who saved it earlier but then got caught up in that 5th caution. Watch Estes go 3 wide again. Will he make contact with Catania? I don't know if he did, but Tristan looked like he struggled to keep it in one piece. Estes using that aggressive racing style to get himself to the front. Seth, he hasn't made any friends out there today. Certainly not in Jeff, no.
Yeah, and there's that turn down the hill method move I was talking about earlier that he was trying, and I think he's going to grab the lead right here. He's going to grab the lead or he's going to wreck here, Rick, because he's being super aggressive. Oh, can he save it? Wow.
I can't believe that. That's awesome. That's unbelievable. This is a man that you and I both once again met and we hung out with over a weekend in Myrtle Beach 2 weeks ago. This guy's crazy. Like, he's straight up crazy, but he's ours and we love him. But Toby just almost ate it. This is the lap prior. I want to see if I can find that just a bit later, but man, Seth.
Wow, what a save. I almost cussed on your stream, Rick. Oh, wow, what a save. And what I was going to say on the Tom Sears wreck, if you get too low behind that red line, you kind of hit that apron of racetrack elevation change, and if you clip that left front fender, bottom of the fender, kind of split it there, it'll shoot the car sideways, and I think both him and Tom Sears have done that now, Rick.
Garrison, Sears, Ray on the inside line. Tristan Catania with arguably some of the most worn tires in this race now after that most recent caution. Still holding on well. 70 laps to go this time by. Garrison up from 19th. He is by far the race's hardest charger. But how about Tommy Withers as well, Seth, up 13 places?
And I was about to mention that as well. Tommy Withers, another guy, at Kansas S, Rick. He's going to stick around that top 5 to 10, maybe even 15 area. And with about 100 to go, he's going to stay in the top 10 the rest of this race and be in play to win one of these things. Very smooth, but be interested to see how Garrison, again, he's a super aggressive guy, tries to control this race when Tom's on the inside of him looking, Rick.
Down through that front straight, Tom Sears now on the inside line, 2x2, 2 rows deep. Aiden Norman now has Tommy Withers behind him. Let's check it out from the big ass fans, 6-2. And watch just the weight shift when Withers gets onto the flat part. It's a lot to handle. It's genuinely a lot to handle with just the simulator giving you so much to control. But Withers holding his own so far. We've finally hit triple digits. We're 100 laps into this race. 67 to go when they cross the line this time by. As always, Seth, our friends here are going to get 3 maximum tire changes. My money's on a green-white checker. If it's you, you've got 67 laps to go. Let's say you've already taken 1 set. You've got 2 sets remaining. How are you going to manage them?
I'm taking one more. I believe we were getting about 45 or 50 laps of fuel, Rick. So I'm taking one right there, and then I'm not taking them unless we get a green-white checkered. If we get a green-white checkered, then I would take them. But, I mean, a guy I would be using for a measure right now is Tristan Catania. I believe he has 14 lap older tires than these guys, and he's hanging in there right in 4th. But also to the outside line's detriment, the way Josh can kind of hold that seam right there and watch, Tristan's going to get a little tight right here, and he just can't hold the same line, having to lift a little bit, and that's really preventing the outside line from moving. But I think if someone gets tucked up behind him, like Noah's going to try right here, maybe, it could move forward.
Aiden Norman in the 6-2. Now on the inside of Tristan Catania, coming off that 4th corner, still drag racing for that lead to the line in a dead heat. Tom Sears will lead lap 102 by 1/100th of a second. Donald Ray still close behind him. And Tommy Withers again holding his own. Matt Kent just ahead of Richie Catania. One of the hometown drivers still left in this race as Toby Estes shakes it down the back straight. Toby's in the wall again, Seth. Not the first time. And one of those Bluegrass Bandits really struggling to keep it together.
Yeah, Toby's having a rough night. Very rare, but I don't think we've seen the last of the Bud 8 here. I'm positive Toby will be back up here racing for it here soon. Really impressed with Josh Garrison with the lack of help that he's had up on the top line. He's really holding his own. I don't know that the right side tires are enjoying it very much, Rick, but he's doing a fantastic job. Still got my eyes on the 5 car, though. I think if he can get clear, I think he wants back control of the race.
The pride of Rockwall, Texas in the National Guard Chevrolet, Donald Ray, second in line up the inside. Not four-time champion, good Lord, season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews. In that Chevy, he's right at the back of this top pack. Then there's Toby Estes, Briley right behind him, John Honeybrink, another 6 seconds off the pace in the last car on the lead lap. Elrich George by his M&M lonesome down the front straight sits in 16th, 1 lap off the pace. Garrison on the outside still holding his own. Donald Ray looking for some sunshine on the port side of that Dayglow Yellow 213simware.com Supra. Seth, you can feel the tension. You can start to taste it in the air.
Yeah, so feels like the battle of trying to settle in a good spot for track position, Rick, to get ready feels like they're kind of content riding right now. They're trying to maybe for 5, 10 more laps, kind of ride around, try to get one last spot here or there, and then ride around for a bit and battle for track position. Boy, I tell you what, Josh Garrison is working up there. He's trying that method of kind of turning down the hill mid-corner. He's using those seams and really getting a run off. Oh, Tom almost did it again what he did earlier by getting too low on the apron. That's going to give Josh a big run. If he could just get, there you go, here comes some help. If he could get some help, I think this 18 is going to clear the 14 here in a few laps.
Garrison with Catania behind him in that 4-8, only 2 cars topside as Aiden Norman looks to either cut the side draft or maybe put a little bit of fear into car 48. The New Jersey pilot now getting down close to the now 2-time TNT champion. Garrison on the outside, Sears still on the inside. It looks like he might not have any bump drafting help per se, but like you said, Seth, that bubble of air will just push the car ahead enough, and we could be seeing what the final lap would look like here. I mean, there's no assumption. I mean, if these first 108 laps doesn't say it, we know we're going to have a drag race to the finish, and I certainly hope we do because it's one of the best things in racing. But this could be very well what this last lap plays out to be.
Absolutely, and we're almost 3 wide for 4th, but one thing I'm noticing, Rick, and kind of bookmarking for the last lap, great minds think alike there, man. I was just about to talk about the last lap. If there's a run like this where it's 10 to 20 laps, the way Tom kind of drifts up off of 2 and off of 4 really opens up a spot here. We'll see it in just a second. For Donald to get a lower exit right there, and there's plenty of room right there, and that's why earlier in the race, if you were tuned in, I was kind of holding the yellow line a lot tighter off the corner. It might wear just a little bit more tire, but it really protects you from being vulnerable, and it's the shortest way around the racetrack, and it really pulls the bottom line well. And I think that's also helping Josh as well, not to take away the work that he's doing up there all by himself, but Tom might want to be a little tighter when it comes down to the end, but for now, Donald's a good soul and going to hang in right behind him.
Baker Elite just subscribing with Prime there. Appreciate you, Jake Baker. For those that don't know, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to Rick James TV with Prime. You get that 1 free subscription. So why not make that Rick James TV? Also, shout out Cody Pinnell. Seth, this man just gifted 5 subscriptions to Rick James TV on Twitter. So shout out Cody Pinnell, despite being out of this race, still tuning in, still being a big part of this community. And I'm going to say this profusely tonight, but to all the fans that have been with us from TNT Season 1 all the way to today, if this is your first time watching Rick James TV, or if this is your 80th time, thank you. It is not worth it to do these broadcasts if we don't have fans like you that continue to contribute big and small with your viewership. Viewerage is not a word, as Tommy Withers gets into the wall there. With your viewership. But thank you. Anybody who's ever interacted with Rick James TV, thank you. This is genuinely a labor of love. As I was telling people earlier, Seth, thank you for being a part of this show. I don't know if this is your first TNT broadcast, but you sure picked a really great show to join the booth. Garrison's on the outside of Tom Sears, and this 3-car fight up here, even though these guys all pitted during lap 90, they must be just they've got to have something else in the tank. Seth, these guys, they've got something extra.
I think they do too, Rick, and I appreciate you having me up. And for you fans at home, you guys are the reason why we do this, and you couldn't have anybody better up here in the booth calling us week to week, and Rick James. And thank you to all of you that watch week to week. And I always love going back and watching the races the very same day, and seeing what the fans and the regulars like Bama Trama and some others think about the race. So always grateful for our fans. You guys are the reason why we do it, and invite some more as always. But yeah, Rick, I think they're going to have something left in the tank. I am really, this 18 is just doing a fantastic job on the top right now. And what this is going to do here, this 31 car, if he plays it right and maybe gets a 6 behind him, he's going to get a big run here in a minute. I'm going to be interested to see what he does with it.
Side by side, just drag racing down the back. Josh Garrison will not give up the advantage on the top side. 116 laps about to be completed, and this is going to leave us with 51 laps to go. The Drip Diecast and Collectibles track facts will tell you these drivers get a maximum of 3 tire changes, so if you've already used 2, you get 1 more, or you gotta save them for the green-white checkered that just might come. Will they go 3 wide? They will not. Sanity prevails. If you love some of these paint schemes out here, and if you just want to recapture some of those awesome memories of your NASCAR childhood, or even some of the cars from today, check out Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook. Tell them Rick James sent you. Your #1 stop for your favorite NASCAR memorabilia. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook. Go there, get a piece of NASCAR history. Tom Sears now giving himself a very wide lane against Josh Garrison. Seth, Donald Ray still just biding his time behind the 1-4. The 3-1 of Matt Kent wants to play too.
Yeah, and I think the 5 car is going to be in the catbird seat here. He by biding his time, I think he's saving a little bit of the tire. Josh is starting to fight a tight center condition. He's really having to lift. Either if he stays in the gas too long like that right there, you get close to the wall, or he's kind of drifting up in the middle. It's a lose-lose situation. He's still putting up a heck of a fight, but I think the 14 in the bottom line here is going to get clear here.
Garrison still doing very hard work, but what is it going to do for the tires? Tom Sears on the 1-4, still leading. Garrison, is he set? If he's putting less wheel into the race car, could he possibly be saving some of those tires?
Well, if he was doing the method earlier of riding those seams like we were talking about earlier, Rick, I would say so. But the way he was kind of marking the corner and still kind of is, he's really like right there. He's kind of turning back down the hill right here, and well, not as much, you know. So he is trying right now, Rick, but it may be for the faint of heart and too late. Just really hard to keep the tires on it. The way he was turning down the hill.
Tom Sears now leading by himself. Josh Garrison will slot into line just behind car number 31. Tom Andrews on the outside of the top 10 looking in. Aiden Norman and Jimmy Kerr now drag racing for that 10th and final spot. And finally at the front, Tom Sears able to breathe, but the 1-8 now comes for more inside of the final 50 laps of action, Seth. Toyota, Chevy on the inside line. Tommy Withers is there. Keep your eye on Noah Belleville as well. We know this kid can race, but Garrison on the top side, definitely a wild card in my book.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, that 5 car is clear now. I'll be interested to see if he's the good soldier or if he tries to make a move right here. I think he's got a little bit more race car than Tom Sears is right now. There's what I was talking about earlier. Just the lower entry gives you so much more advantage, especially up off the 2. That's why where the move is if he wants to take it.
Ray in the 5. Kent in the 31, Catania in the 2-4. Josh Garrison finally giving way. Looks like he's going to try and fall into one of these 2 lines. Tommy Withers won't give him the space, and Garrison now might finally just want to draft, possibly save what fuel he can. Elrich George by his lonesome in the M&M's Ford. Where is he going to go, Seth? Here come the leaders.
I would get below the apron if I could, or whatever line the majority of the pack isn't in. It'll be interesting to see if anybody pops out of line right here to use this pick.
Garrison in that 18, now slotting back into line. Tom Sears with Ray behind him. Cap Pinnell saying, don't count out Richie. Talking about the Central Floridian. Right there in that Jeff Gordon 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Cody Pinnell's got his eye on that Orlando native. Sears shoots to the inside. Look at Garrison moving down there as well. Seth, what happened? Did he hit the wall?
No, I just think he got loose on corner entry, Rick. That was probably a little too much wheel input up off because he's tight in the corner and just got really loose. Glove save again. Doesn't look like anybody's going to take advantage of the 40 car, but Cody's exactly right. Shout out to Cody as well. That 24 car is always good at the end of these races, especially the plate track. Super smooth, very underrated driver that doesn't get the love sometimes that he probably deserves. And Rick, you and me both love a good Jeff Gordon paint scheme. Always love to see it up front.
Tip of the cap to Elrich George, staying out of the way of these cars, moving at a much faster rate of speed. Love to see that right there, but he's still in this race. I mean, shoot, 2 cautions and he's in it. Tristan Catania now on his way out of the pits. He has not pitted since lap 76, so right around 50 to 51 laps. Tristan will finally come in, so he is well off cycle, and he's going to lose 1 lap here as the leaders come back around. But if another caution comes out, Seth, Tristan could be back in it. 40 laps to go, single file, 8 cars deep.
So this is where I was talking about earlier, Rick. Everybody kind of found their footing. They were fighting for this track positioning themselves for this last stop, and now they're here. So now you're thinking about your pit road entry. Everybody's kind of figuring out when they want to pit, what they want to do, getting settled in. They're here. A guy I got my eye on, a guy that's always a wild card and has always just the drive and the fight to win a race or get a good finish, is Ryan Pinnell. Been in a couple wrecks. He's back up to 6th place. He's always good with the fuel, and he's always good for a top 10, top 5 finish. And he's always good for a good strategy as well. So I got my eye on the 12 car here to maybe try something different here as the green flag pit stop near ever closer. Oh, Matt Kent really wanting to make a move.
There you see the Swag Designs points standings. Aiden Norman with the C next to his name has clinched the title. Did so last week at Watkins Glen, winning the race and getting his 7th victory of the season. 8 wins, the all-time record for wins in a season belonging to the Season 1 champion, Tom Sears. Matt Kent, 3rd in line. He has turned around a driver with that front bumper. We'll see how much restraint he shows at the end of this race. Donald Ray now diving back down to the inside. Seth, these drivers last pitted on lap 90. They'll have to make it to 140. Quick shout out to Jim Blankenship over at Swag Designs. He is handcrafting the trophy for Aiden Norman in the 6-2 hand. This is the first actual wooden trophy for a Thursday Night Thunder, so that's pretty cool as well. But check out Swag Designs on Twitter, handcrafting all your favorite, not only trophies, but just memorabilia and literal swag, stickers, posters, whatever you can think of, he can make it. Contact swag_designs on Twitter. Tell Jim TNT sent you. Anyway, I can't thank Jim Blankenship enough for what he does for us here at TNT. Seth, so we should be looking at pit stops here within the next 10 laps if we stay green.
I would have to think so. Some guys might stretch it though, Rick. But it might be 4 to 5 laps, Rick. Several of them are on lap 41 of this stint. So most of the field is actually, I gotta think it's gonna be in the next 5 to 10. Hard pressed to find anyone else stretching further than that, but you never know with this group. Two guys I got my eye on right now to maybe get one more spot is this 31 and 24. They're kind of arcing the corner, trying to turn down and get a run. That's what I would be doing if I had the room to do it, but it also can be very detrimental if you turn down across someone's nose.
Donald Ray in the 5, Tom Sears in the 14. He's leading the show still, and the 6-2 of Aiden Norman still within a chance to win this race. Seth, you want to talk about stretching fuel? Thomas Anderson, the two, knows how to stretch the fuel.
Absolutely. And usually his counterpart that tries to do the same thing, or not counterpart, but a guy that tries to do the same thing is leading the race. And I have to think, while he enjoys leading this, Tom kind of feels out of body experience, because Sears is usually one like Andrews and Ryan Pennell that really tries to stretch the fuel. So, be interesting to see how much fuel he's burning leading this pack right now.
Quickly approaching 30 laps to go. Tom Sears at the front of... Oh,
got a little loose. Sorry, Rick. He almost did what Toby and Tom did, and got a little scared for him. That left front splitter touched below that apron on that transition, and it got a little hairy.
Donald Ray then doing his best to hold on to the race car. Tom Sears out front in this one so far. And even Sebastian Leclerc trying to cheer on his favorite drivers as well. Matt Kent in the 31 has a bumper full of Richie Catania. Ryan Pennell has Aiden Norman to his outside, and Tommy Withers now wants to become a part of this party too. Noah Belleville in the 41 wants to play. Josh Garrison 3 seconds off of this pack, and from third on back, Seth, they're getting way too close for comfort.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, like I said, all of us always want to try to get that extra track position, as I was saying a few laps ago. But they're getting a little racy on old tires here. Someone gets tight or turns across someone's nose here with several cars turning down the hill, trying to get a run off. This is also what Donald and Tom love to see in here. They can kind of give themselves a nice little gap for pit road entry. And I'm surprised how long they're stretching this fuel. I can't imagine it'd be more than 5 or 6 laps more here, Rick.
Sears still leading. They are stretching this right into the 50-lap range. They'll be there in about a lap and a half. 3/10 now, the gap. Matt Kent still on the outside. He does scrape the wall. Noah Belleville has to avoid him. Kent will now go to the back of that pack. John Honeybrink in the 14th position rejoins 2 laps off the pace. New Jersey's Tristan Catania is the first car 1 lap down, and thus the lucky dog. But there are the leaders, Seth. Tristan's got to put his foot down for at least just a few more laps. Stay ahead of these guys. It's going to be 38 laps to go this time by.
And,
Nope, less than that. 28 laps to go. Sorry.
yeah, I'm shocked, Rick. Maybe my overlay's wrong or something, or maybe I'm just not the greatest mathematician in the world and didn't pay attention to the race when I was running, but shocked how long they're going on fuel. I think maybe having to lift in the middle of the corner to get these cars to turn or feather the throttle has something to do with it as well. Starting to settle down, though. A lot of them back there, third on back, are starting to get in line, so should see it here soon.
Tom Sears in that 1-4 has not let go of the lead. He's led the most laps so far coming into this race. He sits 10th in the point standings after missing a couple of starts. 1 win this season, but he's got big potential to leapfrog himself even past Ryan Pennell in the points order, but he's going to need a little bit of help from Ryan in the opposite direction. Tommy Withers right now, the race's hardest charger, up 15 places from where he started, and it's the Tom Sears show up at the front. Seth, he's starting to break away. Is this a wise move?
I think so. He's going to have plenty of room to have an aggressive pit entry. So I'm not sure if Donald's saving some tire or trying to go an extra lap than Tom, but Tom's just driving away. I'm going to hop on board with him and see maybe if he's just doing full throttle around here and Donald's not, but really interesting to see this here.
Sears at the front, now on the outside of Briley Wright. Trying to go to the inside now of Briley Wright.
Here he comes.
There he goes. Sears on his way into the pits. Here comes Donald Ray. Aiden Norman will resume the lead. Noah Belleville will miss pit road. Everybody locking up the tires. Smoke in the air as they try to get it down to pit road speed. And your new leader for the first time this race, your Thursday Night Thunder champion, Aiden Norman, who's loose off of turn number 2, Seth. It looks like he's definitely in conservation mode. He could be coming this time.
Yeah, he'll probably use his fast repair here. I'll be interested to see, as it looks like he's not going to come this time. I'm going to have my eyes on him. This could be a winning strategy here to go a couple laps further. Because I think on a super speedway, well, he also has the damage too. So it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out as he laps Tom Sears right here. I would come this time. I got him a lap down. He's going to have to get up to speed. He's going to be on slow on this get up to speed lap to unlap himself. I'd come right here if I was Aiden Norman.
We'll see just what happens. Norman, Belleville in the second position. Again, he missed pit road. It could cost him. Norman stays out. Tom Sears right behind him. And we're going to have to see the difference in times here. Again, Aiden Norman now on lap 144. He pitted 54 laps ago, right where the Drip Diecast and Collectibles Facts has him right in the sweet spot. Off of that second corner. There's Norman. There's Sears. 1 lap off the pace. Aiden looks like he was trying to enter maybe at the entrance of 3. And he'll be coming. He's got to be coming this time by.
I would come right now. I would have came to lap before. I think Tom's going to easily overtake him here, but we'll see.
34-17 last time around for Aiden Norman. 33:08 for Tom Sears. Almost a second quicker on fresh tires, but Norman may have played it to perfection, Seth, depending on if the race goes green or not. There's only 10 cars on the lead lap. I don't know exactly how many tires Aiden Norman has left. However, here comes Tom Sears to get the lead back. And here's also a driver that played the pit road game to perfection, because Sears has a 4-second gap to Donald Ray. Norman now out of pit road. The Texan's going to fly past him. Tommy Withers as well. These green flag pit stops, Seth, have really separated the field. This is the old Atlanta that we're used to seeing on the new configuration.
Yes, and at this point, if I'm Donald Ray, I am begging Thomas Withers right now, please stay in line with me and let's work together. That period of time, Rick, that you noticed and called out that Tom started to drive away, I went on board, and it sounded like an early to mid part of a run of old Atlanta. He was lifting a lot, trying to get the nose pointed on exit and get the power down. So I'm not sure if Tom just did a fantastic job saving tires, as it looks like he's kind of letting off the gas here to let him go by.
Slowing down big time. Is he possibly just trying to get behind the pack? He's now going to go. Something is not right with the 1-4 car. Here comes Matt Kent now to his outside. Does he still have enough tires? Tom Sears didn't take tires, Seth. He had a pit stop time of 9.93 seconds. Not enough to get 4 tires on that race car. I think he's gambling and waiting for one final stop. I think he's gambling for one final stop to put 4 fresh tires on the race car. Matt Kent goes green, 31.15 seconds. Sears is up to speed, Seth, but he definitely is saving a set for the end.
Not sure. I guess he didn't have a set of tires left, or he went fuel only, trying to keep that gap he had. Bad news bears for the rest of the field, as I've been saying, Rick. This 5 car probably going to keep control of this field, and it's going to be hard to take it away from him.
There are the pit stop times. You can see them right there. Josh Garrison up 15 places from where he started this race. And now Tommy Withers on the outside of Donald Ray down the back straight. These drivers really putting these new Goodyears to work. 17 laps to go this time by, Seth. It's been a thriller so far.
I'd be interested to see how this outside lane works. Withers is going to have to run off. You can pull this off with 2 cars, Rick. even though it's kind of 4-on-2 with the 75 back there fluctuating, um, if you ride that seam and have someone just close enough, you can pull this off with 2 cars. Just got to get on that seam a little bit more on exit. There you go. He's going to get a run down the back. Perfect timing. They're going to be side by side in a 3.
The last time Tommy Withers won a Thursday Night Thunder race, he was sporting the Dave Blaney Amico paint scheme, and it was the July Daytona race. Will Withers win on the season finale? That would be something. Donald Ray on the inside. He has not won since season 4 at the Texas Motor Speedway. Puts 2 tires on that red line. Seth, it makes my heart skip a beat. I think he's going to lose the race car every single time.
Yeah, but he's wheeling it. They're all wheeling it right now. Wow, almost a wreck. Matt Kent being super aggressive right there. That's another one that's came on strong late in the year is Matt Kent. Shout out to him. But this will be interesting here. If the 6 can take Sears side by side, just pulling back just a tad, it could be trouble for Donald Ray. But like I said, man, when he's in control of the lead here at Super Speedways, pack your lunch because it's going to be hard to take it away from him. Yeah, and Donald's getting a little bit of a gap here. It's too soon to maybe pull something. Wow, Garrison's really pushing the edge on entry. Man, I just want to be in Tommy Withers' ear. Get on that one of those seams, man. That runoff, if you get a seam, I don't know what it is, but it would really give him a kick off the corner. He's got to get some help from Garrison, and there's your guy that you were talking about earlier, Rick. Thomas Andrews is right there, ready to pounce. He's always here at the end of these races.
On board now with car number 2 into the first corner. Andrews right behind Kent. Seth, I wouldn't say that Andrews owes Matt Kent one, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. We'll see.
I get it, but Tommy's smart on that. This is going to be interesting, Rick. They're kind of lined up 2 by 2 here behind Donald. And going to be interesting to see how Donald goes to work right here to maybe protect both lanes. Looks like the inside's going to prevail into one, though.
12. A dozen laps remain at Atlanta. 12 more laps in Season 6 of Thursday Night Thunder. 12 more laps for these ARCA cars. We're upping the horsepower in Season 7. We're bringing Gen 4 and the full horsepower engines to Thursday Night Thunder for Season 7. So let's see which one of these drivers will get the final win in the ARCA car era in Thursday Night Thunder. And then we've got the first win of the Gen 4 era for Thursday Night Thunder. That I can't wait to see. Race still leads. 10 to go this time by, then 9 at the line. Chevy, Toyota, Ford, all in the top 3, Seth.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tommy Withers is starting to figure this out. There he comes. He's got a big run. Might get to the right rear here. Looks like he's stalled out. He's entering a little bit higher. You want on that top line, you want to do that right there. You want to come down the hill and have a straighter exit off, just like that. If he can hold a straight exit off and have Garrison behind him, they're going to start getting some momentum back. You don't want to be drifting up off the top towards the wall on exit. You want to enter higher, kind of use those seams and get a straighter exit off. He's starting to figure it out, build up the run. I don't know if he's going to have enough help to get there. Tommy Andrews is trying to make up his mind, but I don't think we're done with the caution either, Rick. I think we're going to get a green light chucking like we did earlier.
8 laps to go next time around. 5, 14, 3-1 on the inside line. Tommy Withers trying to figure out the draft, Seth.
Yeah, Donald's doing a fantastic job right now, just kind of holding his line, doing what he needs to do, trusting that that 14 is going to pay the same respect that he did earlier, but not hopping out of line. But like he was doing earlier, and like we were talking about, Rick, setting up for the final laps and that conversation and kind of putting stuff in their notebooks, Donald's got that really nice low exit off. kind of cutting the car back down right here. He's going to exit right off that white line, keep it nice and straight when some guys might have come off. So doing a fantastic job right now.
Sears in the 14 to the inside of Withers in the 6. Kent in the 3-1, just playing it cool. How about JK3? James Kerr the third in that 7-5 behind the Season 4 champion. Thomas Andrews was crowned the Season 4 champion here at Atlanta, and he now has a chance to win at Atlanta. He's got, in that season, he won one race. He won the season opener at The Rock, and that was it. The same season that Donald Ray ended up last winning at Texas. Look
what
at
a move. Sorry, Rick. Withers finally broke that seam, got a huge run, got Sears broken apart and took the lead. What a power move off the top by Withers.
one more look. Watch the draft down the back straight. You called it, Seth. Withers now just using the run out of turn number 2, and he drafts his way around Donald Ray, seals the door into turn number 3, and he says, that lead is mine. Ray back on the outside. Will he try the same now? Withers not giving him all the space that Ray gave him, enough space to run. But look, just on that seam, Seth, you saw that Withers left about just a third of a car's width just to cut off Donald Ray a bit. Withers did the move, and it looks like if he just leaves a little bit of daylight to the inside, he can cut off Ray's advance. Drag race again, 4 to go this time.
This is going to be interesting. They're going to get to Tristan Catania as a lap car, and you see Withers right there trying to take away that middle seam. He knew that worked for him. Donald's going to get to it right here on exit. He could get a run off, kind of drift it up like we were talking about. This is awesome racing, Rick. 4 to go.
Donald Ray at the line by 1/100th of a second. Tommy Withers to the inside in the 6. Valvoline Ford has two-time champion Tom Sears behind him. 3.5 remain at Atlanta. 175 plus on their iRacing rigs heading into turn number 3. Tom Sears in the 1-4 watching all of this unfold. Josh Garrison, Jimmy Kerr, Thomas Andrews all within a shout. Tristan Catania will get on the apron and out of the way. They're wrecking behind him. Massive crash. There goes not John Honeybrink, Josh Garrison, Jimmy Kerr involved. He took a heavy slam. Caution is out, and we're going to have a green-white checkered finish at the end. Seth, let's run this one back and see what happened.
And while you're running the back, Rick, the big winner right there on that caution, even though they probably didn't want to see, is Donald Ray. The inside has won the restarts here, and he's going to have the inside to finish the race.
You just saw the back end of car number 18 get lifted up, Seth. I think Thomas Andrews might have had more than a little bit to do with that one.
Yeah, just with coming to 3 to go, Rick, you and I both know a lot of guys aren't lifting. I'm sure Andrews is probably not meaning to do that. He's wanting to push him. He's trying to time it just right. A lot of times when you're trying to give a guy a push like that, you're trying to get the exit off and hook up right as you exit off the corner. Just got him a little too soon when maybe Garrison still had some wheel in it. Just turned him around. We get to see a hell of a finish, so Rick.
You can see it coming out of the left-hand side as well. Just nothing Jimmy Kerr could do. And the caution's going to be out for the 6th time tonight. So Virginia's Tommy Withers now has control of the field with Donald Ray behind him. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 2-minute break and be back with more racing from Atlanta and green-white checkered attempts to finish off Season 6. We'll see you in 2. 3 more miles and the first attempt to complete 3 miles from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Virginia's Tommy Withers has control of the field. Donald Ray to his outside in car number 5. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see if they survive 2 more laps. Seth, green flag is out.
There it is. The inside line gets a jump, but Donald has the best restart the top's had all day. If he can get to that right rear here on entry, it could get good.
Diving down into that first corner. He's trying to side draft off of him 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, Seth. Down the back straight and white flag next time.
Who's got the race car left, Rick? Who's got the tires? Who's got something to make a move? Donald's almost clear into 3.
Ray's gonna seal him off. Withers says, I'm still there, and they give each other the space. Out of turn number 4, the white flag is in the air. Ray goes around, Withers goes. Kent to the front. White flag has been collected. There is no yellow. Belleville behind him, and they'll race it to the end. Kent in the 31. Belleville behind him in the 41, and New Jersey's Tristan Catania behind that 4-1. There will be a new winner if Belleville doesn't get to the line first. Season 6 will come down to a great finish. Tristan Catania into Matt Kent. Here goes Honeybrink. Sears is under him. Catania out of turn number 4, uncontested. He will win the season finale at Atlanta.
Holy cow. Holy smokes, what a finish, Rick.
You can still hear race cars just crumbling behind them. Tristan Catania at one point out of this race. He's going to bring it to a halt here, or at least put the brakes on. But Catania in the 48. And K-Rex in the chat just summing it up. What just happened? What just happened? There's the other New Jersey driver, Thomas Andrews, coming to congratulate Tristan Catania. That is one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen, but the Ally Chevrolet will come home in the first position. This is the first win for Tristan Catania in Thursday Night Thunder, and it comes at the very end of season number 6. That was something else, and one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen. Let's run this back and go to the white flag. That was sensational, even before the white flag.
It looks like, Rick, on that white, coming to the white, Aiden tried to peek 3 wide and just got Donald in a weird spot, I think on the right rear, turn him into the field, and then just made a bold move into 3 on the last lap, 3 wide. Just kept his foot in it when he got knocked down the apron and ended up somehow, some way winning that race.
Catania restarting all the way at the back, looking at Donald Ray coming down the back straight. Let's see if we can go to the sky and just try and get a better view. Keep your eye on that number 5 on the top line. There's Withers just trying to take away all the space possible. Aiden Norman coming up behind the 5 car. There's the contact. There's the contact. Norman gets collected. Kent to the lead with the white flag out. There just wasn't enough time to throw that yellow. Belleville in the 41. Catania in the 48 is not letting up at this point. He gives Belleville the push down the back straight. Kent doesn't know where to block the outside. Catania's going to go to the inside, and at this point, you think Catania's done. He comes back up onto the racing surface. There goes Honeybrink, who gets turned by Sears. Catania saves it. Richie Catania, where did he come from? Gets into Kent, and across the line, Ryan Pennell is in second. Matt Kent, bronze medal unofficially. Tristan Catania with the gold. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to try and sort all of this out. We're going to have podium drivers in just a moment. What a finish. on the podium after a awesome finish at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a way to win it for Tristan Catania. But let's start with the third step on the podium, all the way from sunny Taiwan, Matt Kent with another TNT podium. You're starting to get good at this.
Yeah, 2 spots shorter than what I think I should have had after the calamity in turn 3 and 4, but always good to be on podium and prove those that don't think I need to be at the front wrong.
So a wild way to end season 6. Sometime in August, we're going to start season 7 here. I know it's deep into the future here, but can the fans expect you back?
Yeah, I'll be back. It's gonna, this late summer months will change my schedule just a hair, but I'll still be in season over here in Taiwan. So we'll see what happens when we get through the summer months, but looking forward to another good season here on TNT.
Unofficially, Matty, you have an average finish of 8th, an average start of 14th, and you'll finish 23rd in the points standings. Great season and great third place.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you do.
Seth, you've got our silver medalist, Ryan Pennell.
Ryan, buddy, you got a copy.
I got you, bud.
Awesome job tonight. Before we ask you about your race, just congratulations on a P2 and a P6 in points. You were consistent all year long. Did a heck of a job in TNT this year, always up towards the front, the top 5 or 10. But take us through your night, man. Had quite the wild night.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. Yeah, overall the season was great. Missed a couple races. I think I missed 3 races this year, so that definitely hurt me in competing, for the championship. I mean, I don't think anybody had anything for Aiden anyway, but would have loved to be up there in the top 3 or 4 in points. But 6th is nothing to complain about with all this talent out here. My race overall was definitely up and down. Got involved in 2 or 3 different wrecks where somebody in front of me checked up and I checked up, and then the driver behind me just didn't check up. So I mean, it's just sometimes common sense goes a long way, and it just, you got to look out your windshield sometimes. But we rallied, man. The number 12 car, it was broke. I mean, it still had 4 minutes of optional repairs there at the finish. I knew I really didn't have any chance of winning. So when I saw them wrecking, I just went to the apron, and then just barely missed Lurkin and Hohenbrink, and then some more calamity happened right on the right side of me, and happened to cross the line in second. So for the fact that we had 4 minutes of optional repairs here at basically a super speedway, and to come home second, man, I couldn't ask for anything better. Good win to Tristan and Kent for their finishes. But yeah, I mean, it was just crazy race overall. I mean, it just, you expect that here at Atlanta. But there was definitely a lot of handling involved, so that was kind of cool to see the cars pushing and getting tight and all that good stuff. But man, I'll take second place all day long. I don't get to do a lot of these interviews with as much talent that we have here in Harks nowadays, so it's always good to talk to y'all and shout out all the fans and all my friends and family back at home. Home track, I mean, my actual home track, not my home track every week, but actual home track. So I'll take second place all day long.
Well, again, congratulations, a talented man as well. You keep on getting better every week, and you're going to be right in the thick of it in season 7 for the championship. Thank you for all you do as well in ARCS, and we'll see you around the corner, buddy.
Appreciate it, bud. Yeah, had a blast, and thank y'all. Thank you for jumping up in the booth with Rick, and of course, got to thank Rick. He holds this thing together up there in the booth. So had a blast, and can't wait for season 7.
Unbelievable run to the finish. Ryan Pennell unofficially will finish 6th in the point standings with an average finish of 8th and an average start of 11th. And now finally our race winner, and for the first time ever on the top step of the podium in TNT, talking about New Jersey's Tristan Catania. That win right there, Tristan, will elevate you to 10th in the point standings, 9 markers ahead of your older brother, Richie. You both finished with the same average finish of 12th. And what a way to get your first win as well, man. You're going to start Season 7 off in quite a fashion.
Yeah, so you saying I have a chance for the championship there, Rick?
Everybody's got a chance to win the championship in Season 7, man. Everybody.
Okay, no. No, it was an interesting race because it was like a super speedway, but tires were big, and I was slow towards in there because I had short pit, and good that caution came out, grouped everyone up, and I really wasn't expecting to kind of win it, and it's just the way it went down. I would have liked to not have wrecked Kent and Moldy there in the 41, but I just kind of got pushed down there, and I knew if I lifted, I was going to kind of either take out or get taken out by the 20 and then the 14, so I just kind of hoped it stuck, and it kind of went up the track, and things happened, and you know, I happened to win, I guess, but it wasn't necessarily the way I would have liked to, but it was a fun race. I guess a good way to end the season. Keep it interesting. Keep people wanting to see what happens next season, I guess.
Season 7 is going to be interesting for sure. Tristan, congratulations again on the win, and we'll see you here in a few months.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, that's it. That is a wrap on 6 seasons of Thursday Night Thunder Racing, and just when you think it can't get any better, it turns out it can. It has been a thrilling season, and by many accounts, probably one of the best seasons of Thursday Night Thunder ever. It's a close for the ARCA generation, where next season we're taking the same cars, but we're increasing the horsepower. We're bringing iRacing's Generation 4 to the racetrack. So be sure to stay tuned to Rick James TV all throughout the summer. We're going to have more racing for you. A-Rock, the ARC's Race of Champions, will be here in just 2 weeks' time. June 15, the Supercars will be at the Daytona International Speedway, and I know you're going to be there for that as well. For Ryan Pennell at the Alliance Racing Championship Series, thank you so much for everything that you do for us and for participating in our dumb little racing game that we love so much. My thanks to Seth Wansing. My thanks to Thomas Andrews, Thomas Sears, and Terry Gabbard, wherever you might be. We know he's alive and well, but say something to us, buddy. To anybody who's ever had anything to do with a Rick James broadcast or making TNT possible, I thank you. This is not possible without the patronage of fans, friends, and those that we love, and we will continue to bring you these broadcasts because it is our pleasure to do so for your enjoyment and for ours. 6 successful seasons of racing are now complete, and we cannot wait until the beginning of season number 7 because we know you will be there with us every step of the way. I'm Rick James. This has been another Thursday Night Thunder success, and until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and for Season 7, we absolutely will see